I'm sorry. Hi everyone, it's me, and today let's uncover this mystery together. Let's go! Local 58.
After 2 years of silence, Local 58 is back. Not just with another video, but a fully realized ARG complete with mysterious phone numbers and broken web pages, all repeating the same cryptic message. Someone or something wants us dead. Don't look up.
Wow. That was dark. That escalated movie.
Hello, Internet. Welcome to Film Theory.
For intro, that was dark. Anyways, hello, Internet. Welcome to Film Theory. Hello. Let's start.
A channel that made the jump to digital a decade before it was required by shady government organizations. A quick, gentle reminder here at the top of the episode that Film Theory merch is still available, including the nice warm Film Theory cap with rubber embossed logo and secret phrase on the underside. It works great for keeping you snugly or hiding your eyes from the blinding glory of our lunar gods above. There's also this asymmetric hoodie that was designed by a member of the theorist community. Links are right below this video. Order now and ensure that you get it in time for the holidays. And with that out of the way, let's get back to the theory. Today, we're returning to the terrifying world of Local 58.
Which is very dark, it's quite a horror mystery. I'm sorry.
The YouTube series credited for the creation of the analog horror genre. For those of you who don't know, analog horror is classified as a type of content that uses technology like VHS tapes, radio, and old television broadcasts to tell cryptic stories. In the case of Local 58, each upload is a clip from a local access channel. You know, the type that you'd see in any small town around the US. City council meetings, old black and white movies that have fallen into the public domain, crudely made home videos, relaxing music playing against a generic schedule of upcoming programming. It sounds like the makings of the most boring thing ever. Like, there's a reason people do not watch local public access television.
Oops, my anarchy symbol.
But each one of Local 58's uploads comes with a horrifying twist. A shadowy figure here, dead body there, diagram showing us how we can lie in our yards to die, sinister threats warning us against looking at the sky. Now, back in 2019, I watched all these videos and came to the conclusion that the overarching story had to do with aliens from the moon, intercepting our television broadcast frequencies in order to get people to kill themselves and each other. At the time, I thought it was a pretty solid conclusion, but now, with these new uploads, I'm having second thoughts. And no, it's not just because the creator came out and debunked the whole alien theory. Mostly the reason, but not all of it. When you re-look at all the evidence, it seems like
It's literally a slap to the face.
threat that we're dealing with is actually much bigger than just an alien species. But to understand what it is and why I think that, we have to start with the latest upload, Digital Transition. The video starts with an old black and white television show which we can figure out is a 1959 anthology series named One Step Beyond, a series in the vein of The Twilight Zone and The Outer Limits, where each episode tells its own spooky paranormal story. Once the show's over, we're brought back to our usual programming schedule and we're told that Local 58 will be switching from an analog to a digital signal in accordance with FCG guidelines. So, a few things to pick apart here. First, what does it mean to switch from an analog to a digital signal? Well, analog television signals are transmitted through airwaves over a set frequency. This makes them susceptible to interference. And the further away you are from the source, the more likely you're going to get interference, static, or ghosting. Now, last time we covered Local 58, we concluded that whoever was trying to communicate with us, they were hijacking that exact signal. We even found the frequency that they were broadcasting at. Digital signals don't have that problem. They're packets of compressed data, ones and zeros, which can
Zeros and ones and zeros. Binary for the win.
only be received and read by your appliance in one way. There's no half signals or interference. It's either working or it's not, as the packet of data is one secure thing. If it's interfered with, you just don't get a signal. In terms of Local 58, what this transition is doing is silencing whatever was hijacking the analog signal trying to communicate with us. The second major detail here is the FCG. Now, I looked into it and there are a couple of FCGs out in the real world. The Foreign Clearance Guide for the Department of Defense, and this one, which provides financial, regulatory, and technological support. But their logos don't seem to match up with the one that we see. Fortunately, the creator Chris Straub graced us with an answer to this on Twitter. FCG is the Federal Communications Governance. Basically, his in-universe version of the real world's FCC, the Federal Communications Commission.
So case in point, you must recognize that this is happening in a fictional world. So yeah, different worlds, is that guy.
We see in the video that the change is mandated to happen tonight, July 13th, 2021. And that's not an arbitrary date.
Tonight, we are young.
In 2011, the FCC actually mandated the change from analog to digital signals for small local broadcasters. When did they have to make the change by? 2015. But that eventually got pushed back to, you guessed it, July 13th, 2021. Good job, Chris.
Coincidence.
Did your homework. But just as the clock strikes midnight and the transition is happening, we see something resisting. Faint messages in the background that appear to be trying to break through the conversion. It's a bit hard to read, but with some effort you can make it out. I, the one you watched. I, the always here. They make you thought from pieces. They cut the thoughts I am. All knife. All knife. Thoughts shape in needles. They dream themselves in knives. And along the top of the screen, the header updates to betrayal. I come in through the window. Don't know what that whole thing means yet, but they're talking about knives, and that makes me real uncomfortable. That's why I break out into a cold sweat whenever I watch a cooking channel. Also, not a good thing for a guy with his own cooking show, but whatever. Eventually, a stronger signal breaks through, and we end on the final words. Unthinking, they move to cut his throat, only to make 1,000 mouths. If he is silenced, we will speak for him. Signs and wonders flood our little sky. No stars above us, only eyes waiting to open. There are other receivers. Notice here that there's actually a switch from first person to third person. The actual broadcast text was I, the one you watched, whereas this breakthrough signal is they cut his throat, we speak for him. That means that there appear to be two different entities talking to us here, but who or what are they? Well, we know from the first set of messages that whatever is speaking to us has always been here for us, was something that we used to watch. Notice the past tense. It also comes in through the window. That, coupled with the moon imagery that appears in pretty much every upload of Local 58, leads me to believe that it is, in fact, just the moon talking to us. The moon does indeed come through our window every night. It has always been up there for us, and humanity used to watch it and felt marveled by it. But now we have ourselves television, thought from little pieces, little packets of data put together to show on a screen, which pulls us away from being in awe of nature, from worshiping things like the stars and the moon. Hence why the moon feels betrayed. And while I fully recognize that the theory of the moon is a talking entity sounds insane, in the lore of the series there actually might be some more truth to it than you'd think. The second most recent upload is Skywatching, in which we see close-ups of the moon covered not with rock and dust, but with organic webbing like veins or sinews. It also seems to be breathing, as we see gases or souls or something flowing across the surface of it. The moon in this upload can also disappear and reappear much closer to Earth, so weird detail there. There's also some older evidence to this too. Chris Straub, as I mentioned before, the series creator, has said that whatever this series is, quote, it's alien to our existence, but no, I never get excited about extraterrestrials. And an article on TV Tropes claims that Chris has stated that it's a cosmic horror story, though I gotta say I wasn't able to find the primary source to verify that. So it could very well be that the moon is an eldritch type monster, or is home to an eldritch type monster similar to other cosmic entities like Cthulhu. There's also one little Easter egg that I learned about from Reddit user Omni87, who pointed out that the opening clip of One Step Beyond at the top of the upload has actually been altered. The narrator's name has been changed from John Newland to John Newmond, a German word for new moon. The other voices then seem to be worshippers of whatever the moon is. Notice that it says signs and wonders flood our little sky, implying that these people are here on Earth. If the moon is silenced, or in their words, if his throat is cut, then these individuals will take up his message, hence the 1,000 mouths that are being referenced. And again, we actually see a bit of this in Skywatching. When the moon reappears at the end of the video, a man walks into frame raising his hands and the words rejoice appear on screen. He's welcoming the moon's arrival. Just makes me wonder, no stars above, only eyes waiting to open. Are these worshippers right? Is everything in the night sky alive? I mean, if the moon is, why not everything else? But this is only scratching the surface of what this video brings to the table. You see, digital transition also gives us a phone number to call. The phone number is certainly creepy, but not altogether helpful. Calling it plays some distorted audio, which contains Morse code. When decrypted, it spells out there are other receivers, just like the end of the video. If you send that number a text message, you're gonna get the same result, a reply saying there are other receivers. So I think at this point we get the message. They're gonna try to communicate with us through other receivers, other devices. They've already proven that they can do it with phones, but what else? Well, below that phone number, as well as in the text crawl at the start of the video, is a website. It's actually a really clever move. The video is all about switching from analog to digital, and now there's a digital element to the story, so bravo, Local 58. Well thought out. So we checked it out, and sure enough, there was in fact an ARG lying in wait for us, though we were actually a little bit late to the party. Apparently this one's been going on for months, and the latest video was just drawing in all us stragglers that hadn't been following the series or its creator on Twitter. Better late than never, I suppose. The page you're sent to has what appears to be a broken image of a diagram explaining how to use your analog to digital converter. Below that is another massive image, which is just compressed beyond recognition. There are some words that can be made out here and there, like public eye, paid programming, Civic Development Agency, Emergency Alert System, but all of those are just ripped and distorted images from previous uploads from the series. There might be other things in here, but so far neither us nor the Local 58 subreddit have found anything. I will say that the last part of this massive image looks to me like a hand reaching down and infecting the ground in some way, or someone kneeling on the earth, but that's just vague speculation. No, to me, the main thing of interest here is actually at the top of the page. Here we can see that the actual website seems to be a knockoff of the Wayback Machine, something called Lookback. This sort of website allows you to look at a website's history and see what edits have been made to it over the years. If you have never tried this, I highly recommend that you do. It is super fun, and you would be amazed by the changing looks of some of your favorite web pages. For instance, early 2000s YouTube was wild. Here's us at just under 100,000 subscribers in 2013. Here's the Angry Video Game Nerds channel from 2008. YouTube was a very different beast back then. These little spikes that we see on the graph above represent these different save states in time, and by clicking them we get to end up at different pages. Some take us directly to the YouTube channel for Local 58. Others give us a bit more to chew on. The one I really want to focus on is the first one, the one from 1999. Clicking on this gives us a very old website, which doesn't show us much except another glitched technical manual, this time for a vestigial low-band filter. I was initially worried that this image was just going to give us info for a tool that we needed to buy in order to convert some analog code to a digital one, but if you adjust the contrast and brightness multiple times, a QR code is actually revealed in the bottom right-hand corner. The QR code doesn't take you anywhere, but instead reveals the unique phrase, parasite is to host as inhabitant is to environment. If you ever paid attention in math class, or have ever taken standardized testing, this sort of problem might seem familiar to you. And that's not the only secret phrase that we can find across these websites. Returning to the lookback header, you'll actually see some entry points from 2001. If you click the first one, you get a 500 internal server error, which has itself a fun little Easter egg. The server information at the bottom should read Apache, but instead uses the word apogee, another moon reference. In this case, the point at which the moon is furthest from the planet. But that's not all. In an ARG, a broken web page is rarely actually a broken web page. In this case, we see information about the server error, but you'll notice that there's a forward address that looks to be a folder location. I tried plugging it into the URL bar and got this. This secret page takes you to another document, this time talking all about the wonders of home recording. It also has itself a creepy final paragraph all about our mortal eyes lifting up to the empty throne of the master. Feels good, man. The throne here is a reference yet again to the moon, as we see back in Skywatching that the moon is labeled his throne. So again, more evidence suggesting that the moon itself isn't alive, but maybe some massive monster living inside of it. Gotta admit, that seems like splitting hairs against the whole extraterrestrial thing, but whatever. Anyway, behold, right below that paragraph, there's another QR code, this time hidden in the TV screen, which gives us yet another phrase, a predator cannot differentiate prey from accomplice. The final piece of the ARG that I want to mention is the 404 page. I actually wasn't able to find this one myself, but lots of people over on the Local 58 subreddit have been data mining this page, trying to find any new clues. And the earliest screenshot of this I could find came from Lord Gaben 5841. Apologies if Lord Gaben isn't actually the first, but as far as I could tell, that was just the first instance of this being found. Anyway, this page at first seems like a glitchy 404 page, nothing too special. But if you inspect the source code of the website, which feels so good to do because it's been a long time since we've had to check the source code of a web page, the data text reads, "What you need is no longer here." I guess we gotta keep looking. Underneath, there's more text. This one looks like a jumbled mess, but if you highlight it, copy, paste, and then spread out the spacing of the letters, or again, just check the source code for the site, you'll see what it says. Beyond a certain point, watching is no different from doing. So at this point, we have ourselves 3 random phrases. A parasite is to a host as an inhabitant is to the environment, a predator cannot differentiate prey from accomplice, and beyond a certain point, watching is no different from doing. So what do they all mean, and how does it connect to a living and homicidal moon monster? Well, let's take the first one. What if we humans are the parasites? We inhabit this environment, this planet, taking advantage of the host for our own means, regardless of the consequences. We destroy rainforests for profit, we throw millions of pounds of trash into the oceans, we pollute the skies every single day. Sounds like an apt analogy to me. And for all of you who are sitting there thinking, well, I don't do that, I recycle, I walk to work. Too bad, because of the second phrase, beyond a certain point, watching is no different from doing. This planet is too far gone in the eyes of whoever is leaving us these messages. As such, the fact that you're just sitting by and watching it happen makes you just as responsible as everyone else. So, is that it? It's just an environmental message? Yeah, I think. The pieces largely fit, but I do think there's more to it from a lore perspective. Let's stop just looking at Earth from what we understand and instead start looking at the idea of killing the planet more literally. If the moon and stars in Local 58 are actual entities or home to greater cosmic beings, then who's to say that the Earth isn't also one of those things? A cosmic entity that we, the parasites, are actually killing. And that is where our third phrase comes in. A predator cannot differentiate prey from accomplice. I spoke earlier about the moon worshippers, but who are they? I believe that they're an organization called the Thought Research Initiative. In canon, they were the ones that made the 1983 video Real Sleep. Now, why them? Well, their logo appears to be on the latest webpage from 2021. Though it is super distorted, you can definitely make out the slanted T and even parts of the R and the I. Also, according to the Game Detectives wiki, which has been tracking changes to the Local 58 website, when the 404 page was originally discovered on September 13th, there was a nearly invisible element at the bottom of the page that read, copyright 2021, Thought Research Initiative, LLC. So it would seem like they're trying to help the moon accomplish its goal of wiping out the parasites, stopping this environmental destruction by eliminating us. But there's one problem with that. They too are gonna get caught in the crossfire. A predator cannot differentiate prey from accomplice. This organization or cult or whatever you want to call them may be helping. They may believe that by doing so they're gonna be spared by the moon for doing it, like so many other religions do. But I believe that this message is a warning for them. They will not be spared because they are still human. They are still parasites that must be removed. When speaking about a cosmic entity, the lives of a few humans are too minuscule to care. The predator cannot differentiate the prey. So,
True, you must understand that there's a saying called, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
there you have it, friends, what I've been able to figure out so far when it comes to Local 58. The moon, or a giant monster in it, is mad about being ignored, and a series of cultists on Earth are hijacking broadcasts to fight on its behalf. But clearly there's more here. A huge shout out to the Local 58 subreddit, as well as to the Game Detectives wiki, who've been doing a great job of tracking all the changes to this site, allowing me to catch up on things that happened long before I was made aware of these websites even existing. And sure, I've tried to piece together a narrative based on the information that we have now, but there are still a few things that may change that conclusion. For example, there's that big colorful image on the main webpage, which some members of the Reddit community have theorized might reveal more information if you use an analog television system as a monitor. The compressed TRI logo feels like there's gotta be something there. I also wonder if we're fully finished with the phone audio. Sure, it's kinda solved because we did the Morse code, but there's also some muffled audio near the end that nobody seems to have gotten anything out of. User Shades10318 actually called out that it sounds similar to an old radio scrambled signal, and reminds us that the article about the low-band filter might be a clue to solving it. This is known as voice inversion scrambling, but without an old-school radio with a sideband frequency setting, it doesn't seem totally possible to solve it digitally, at least not that I could find with the limited amount of time that I had to research this one. In short, if any of this is interesting to you, I highly encourage you to go over to the Local 58 subreddit, as well as the Game Theorists subreddit, to join in and let me know if you find anything new. This franchise is far from over, and I'm looking forward to covering it again when we've solved more puzzles. In the meantime, don't look up, look up, look up, look. And especially don't look at the moon. Instead, you could look at this awesome poster of the moon thanks to our sponsor for today's episode, Displate. It's not just any poster either. Displate's posters are printed directly onto metal, ensuring that they keep that high quality finish for years and years and years, regardless of how many times you have to move as you attempt to avoid the moon's all-seeing eye. But if you'd rather just avoid celestial bodies altogether, and after today I wouldn't entirely blame you, then Displate has still got you covered. If you check out the website, you'll easily find something that you're passionate about, including officially licensed designs from franchises like Marvel and Star Wars. I personally recently ordered this Dune poster after I saw the movie, and yep, that is indeed the whole collection of Squid Game shapes that you see that I'll soon be displaying for anyone who comes to visit me in the basement. Plus, thanks to the posters being made out of metal, you don't have to worry about tools or screws or punching into the wall. All it's attached with magnets and stickers. This in turn makes it really simple to swap out if you want to go for a different style. For some reason, Stephanie decided that cats was the way to go, and I don't get much say in the matter. Another great thing about Displate is that for every poster you buy, one tree gets planted in exchange. So you're not just making your home super stylish, you're also helping to offset your carbon footprint for that purchase. Maybe that will be enough to appease the moon. We're doing our best down here, damn it! If all that sounds good to you, click the link in the description to head on over to Displate and get a huge discount that'll be automatically applied when you check out. Which, let me tell you, for the quality that you're getting, is just a fantastic deal. I love this service, I love the quality of the prints that you get, I love the variety of art styles that they have on the website, And when you get them, it's so simple to install. Like, why aren't all pictures like this? Anyway, that discount is only available for a limited time, so what are you waiting for? Use that link down in the description below to get your discount and start building your collection today. And as always, remember, it's all just a theory. A film theory. And cut.
Well, thank you all so much for watching this video together with me. I hope you find this video very interesting, quite new to watch. If you do like this video, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to my channel and comment down below if you have any issue with us. Don't forget to follow my channel. I sincerely appreciate all for support and encouragement for my work. Thank you so much, you're the best. I hope to see you in the next video. But hey, that's just a theory, a film theory, and cut. Wow, I'm running out of breath. Thank you. And I'll be to see you all in my next video. Thank you. Subscribe.